Hello everyone, it's me, Nancy Finch, doing another Tea with Nan at 12 o'clock on a Monday. Welcome. I've got my cat cup today. As everyone knows, I love cats. I hope you're all okay. It seems to be very frantic. We've just had a full moon in Virgo, actually influenced, but everybody seems to be very frantic trying to make plans and do stuff, and it's just a little bit too much for most people. And it made me think, well, I think we need to actually do nothing sometimes. So today's talk is all about busy doing nothing. Can we be busy doing nothing? Is that possible for you to allow yourself to do nothing? Now, I know for me and a lot of people, my clients especially recently, find they want to cram their lives with lots of things to do because it's natural. You want to be in control, you want to have everything organized, but it's not always good for you to go day in, day out with the same feelings of must do that, got to get that sorted. Because yes, we feel good that we've done it, and that's very good. We obviously have to prioritize what's important, but we need to get the balance right. We need to have a feeling of being in control by being calm and by being centered. So we need to actually do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Occasionally, it could be for a minute, could be for an half hour, it could be an hour, it could be longer, whatever you decide to do, whatever you think is appropriate in your lives, okay? But I know plenty of busy mums who say, I've got no time to do nothing. It's a nice idea, but they don't feel they can give themselves permission to do nothing. And they don't prioritize themselves or value themselves enough to actually make the time and the space to do nothing, okay? But it's really important that we do. Otherwise, there's no balance. And then we end up being tired, emotionally, physically, whatever. And we're not really our best selves if we're too overwhelmed. Oh, hi, Kev. I think you're the first person on here. So, yeah, happy Monday. Yes, and are we doing too much? Most of us do. We grow up thinking, I'm going to get this done, that done, and I feel good about it. And what we do when we're achieving something is we're releasing the dopamine, lovely happiness hormone that whizzes around your body and makes you do more. So once you've got this feeling of I've done this, you feel achieved, you feel happy, you're releasing those happy hormones around your body. We get addicted to it. We start thinking, yeah, I must do something else to get that feeling. So we end up getting busier and busier. And even people that don't move around very much, and we might consider them to be lazy or someone who doesn't actually seems to be very proactive, they still are doing something. Quite a lot of the time, they're on their phone or they're watching telly or they're doing something, but they're doing something. Even people with hobbies, are doing something. And they go, oh, but I like walking and I'm just sort of meditating on the grass, the trees are lovely, but they're still doing something. And they're actually mindful of where they're walking and what they're looking at and what they're listening to. And one of my dear friends said to me, but I like listening to the birds and that relaxes me. And I went, that's wonderful. Do that. That makes you feel great. It's very good for your body and mind. But you also need to do nothing. And I keep going on about that, but if you were to study the petal of a flower or the blade of grass or the leaf on the tree or anything at all in your house, outside, and really don't see it, just study, just focus and just lose yourself in that focus. And when you lose yourself in that focus, you are so mindful. There's no time. Your thoughts are slowed down. You give yourself a chance to just be and breathe. And that is extremely important. Just breathe and just give yourself that respite from all the things that you think about and do. It's very important. And it's a bit like a daydream. And one of my lovely clients, she said to me, I used to be called Dolly Daydream when she was younger. And bless her, she used to really enjoy just looking and just losing herself in some cloud in the sky, And that was really great for her. It's made her a very spiritual person, actually, because the more you do this, the more spiritual you feel you've become, more aware of your own spirit. And your soul journey is easier as a result. So, people quite often they get so used to being in a sort of a rut with this. They have routine. I do this at this time. I always do this. And they fill their lives from morning to night. Oh, Val, you're here. That's lovely. Happy Monday hugs to you, darling. You're the second person on here. And this proves my point. Everybody is so busy that they just sort of rushing through their day, and it speeds up, doesn't it? Before you know it, you're in fifth gear of yourself. So you've got to find time and give yourself permission. That's really important, because one lady said to me, oh, but that's laziness. If you do nothing, that's just lazy. Oh, thanks for the heart. That's lovely. But you're not being lazy. You're being mindful. You're getting the balance right. You know, you couldn't run your car to a 300-mile journey backwards and forwards every day without something happening to the car. Well, you have to think of yourself a bit like that. You have to stop and get the balance right. Now, some people like sitting in their gardens and reading books, and that's lovely. Great. Some people like relaxing to music, whatever, that is great. But not doing a single thing is giving you a chance to be, like I said before, and it's very important. What's inspired me actually was because I saw something a few years back. Eckhart Tolle. I just one of his books here. I know you read it backwards here, but if you were to look this man up, brilliant, wonderful spiritual man. And, you know, I'm going to tell you a little story about what happened that I know of that happened to him. So how he became spiritual, he had a job that was quite unlike that. He was off to the office one morning, walking through a park with his briefcase, and suddenly he just had this feeling to sit down on this bench. And he just sat down and he did nothing. He didn't go to work. He wasn't proactive. He didn't earn money that day. He didn't do anything. He just sat there and he just absorbed himself. He went inside himself. It's wonderful. And as he went inside himself, you know, some people say, oh, he had a breakdown that day, you know, everything had got too much for him. But what a gift that was, because he was able to sit just still and gaze at nothing, gaze at everything and nothing. And he became really centered. And at the result of that, what happened was at the end of the day, he got up and he realized he cannot work there and he cannot do this. And suddenly it was like a light bulb going on. He knew his path. He knew he had to be spiritual. He knew he had to develop that and help people. And as a result of doing nothing that day, he became the best version of himself. And he became someone who inspired people all over the world and still does. Amazing person. If you get a chance to look him up, really, really is just amazing character. And he is very, very wise. But that one day when he woke up to doing nothing, you know, it's just being made him more. And he was able to serve the world more and be happy and very, very successful. So he's a very famous man. Just my inspiration a few years ago made me realize from this story that I was running around all day, filling every gap of my day with something to do, to feel in control, to feel proactive, to have that nice happiness feeling of dopamine running around my body. I've done this and I've done that. It was great, but as I say, it wasn't right. It wasn't balanced. So I remember saying to myself, right, I'm going to give myself an hour every day, and I'm not going to do the washing up, and I'm not going to do the ironing, I'm not going to do this. Whatever makes your day filled, I decided to do the same, to recognize that I can give myself that period of time, that little tiny space, and I'm just going to be still and not focus on anything else but being still. And I looked at I remember laying down on the settee, looking at the dappled sunlight coming through the window. And all I did is study that, and then I didn't see it. In the end, it disappeared in my mind. And I was just being. And I allowed myself that space. And when I came out of it, I felt like I'd been on some kind of retreat. I felt like I'd given myself a chance to mentally, emotionally, spiritually breathe. And nothing was in my head at that time, and became really clear what I needed to do that day. And I became more proactive as a result. And what you see in front of you now is a person who's worked on her spirit, because I had no choice. I was very jumbled. I was reactive. I had to learn how to not be so busy, or not to value myself, so I wasn't too busy to see what was important to me. And I guarantee if you find time to do nothing, you're going to be a really happier person. And I've got my board filled with stuff today. And what I really like is Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh, one of my lovely clients, my inner child, loves this. Winnie the Pooh, doing nothing is doing something. That's a quote from his little story that you can find it on YouTube actually, Busy Doing Nothing on YouTube. you can see Winnie the Pooh, and it's really great. And of course, you might sing the song, you know, we're busy doing nothing, working the whole day through, trying to find lots of things not to do, etc. Why don't you put that song on and just sing along with it? It's happy, it's jolly. You and a child will like it. I know some people would say, but that's not practical. I've got to earn the money, or I've got to get that done. But you've got to find time to be. And that's why breathing, when you're doing nothing, is going to calm your central nervous system down. All your spine will benefit, everything. Your whole body's energies will benefit. These chakras will benefit. You won't be worried if you're thinking of nothing. I know it might take a little bit of discipline, because those thoughts are going to come back in, aren't they? But it's natural. I mean, we've trained ourselves all these years to do that. But while you're learning to do this, you're giving yourself permission just to untangle, to defrag, as I put on my board here. We need to defrag from thinking too much, and not say it's lazy, because it's not lazy, it's mindful, okay? And when we're clearer, we can make better decisions. We can realize our dreams. We can move forward in life. And daydreams are good for you as well. I mean, that's why I actually got one of my Tea with Nan references here for you to follow. Would be daydreaming on the 24th of the 1st, 22. So you need to basically give yourself that little bracket of time and tell yourself you can, you're allowed, okay? You're allowed to defrag. You're allowed to see yourself differently when you come out of it. You're allowed, give yourself permission. You're worth it. It's, you know, one person I know goes fishing and he says, but I'm really relaxed doing that. I said, well, if you could just look at the water and then forget you, and then really it disappears in your mind. You just become a breathing, being person until the fish bite, probably. Then you're going to have a really nice, calm serenity moving through your body and your mind. And that's going to help you to be the best you can be. So that's the nearest thing I can see that people like doing as a hobby that comes close to what I'm talking about, but you're still doing something with a fishing line. So everything you're doing for a hobby to calm you, to relax you, you're still active. You're still being in this space where you're doing, okay? I've got a lovely, beautiful something to read to you. Eckhart Tolle would suggest this, and so would Wayne Dyer. It's about the Tao. Wayne Dyer's got a lovely book. I've read this a long time ago. The Complete Tao Te Ching and Affirmations, right? He kind of translates what this book is all about. And I'm going to read you something from this book that's going to really help you to understand why doing nothing is so important, okay? So this book here, Tao Te Ching, some people might have it already. It can be a little bit difficult to read and to understand, but Wayne Dyer studied it for a long, long time, and he can actually give you more definitions of what this is all about. He's took a whole year off of work just to study this book. So it's a very powerful book. It's lovely. So that is what I'm referencing today with honor. And Wayne Dyer, who did the affirmations and the explanation of this book, and the wisdom of it. There's a lot of wisdom in that book and the idea. So this is from that book, this little one I'm going to read to you, taken from Tao Te Ching. Yes, so it's on that book there. Okay, that one there. Okay, so take a note of it, take a screenshot, and see if you can get yourself a copy of that. This is one of my favorite things to explain, how we should just be, okay? We join spokes together in a wheel, but it's the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it's the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it's the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Now this is a being, this body's a being, this is being, but we have to go inside ourselves to really use what our essence is, to bring that up to the, instead of just doing on the outside, we need to be. So it's very important that we have the emptiness, the stillness, the nothing. We need to practice nothing. And that is a lovely, my favorite of that book actually. It's a really nice thing to do. Maybe write it down or find it, look it up, and maybe you'll find it from there. But it's a lovely thing to consider. I'm just going to give myself space. I mean, it's very important to regroup yourself, to defrag, and you can have a nice feeling of peace and happiness and serenity moving through your body. So like Winnie the Pooh, sing the song. Look this thing up on YouTube, actually, Busy Doing Nothing. It's a little sketch of it. It's really cute. So let your spirit evolve from that nothing. You know, just be. What else have I got here? I've got lots of things, actually. I'm just thinking that basically, if you can help your body, you're helping your mind, you're helping yourself to feel more in tune with your destiny. Oh, Annie's on here. Thank you. We'll listen later. Lots of love to you, my darling. Happy Monday hugs. Thank you for popping on. And share this, guys, because you never know, it might inspire somebody who just feels a bit down or hasn't got the energy. Because as a result of doing nothing, you will have more energy because you'll come out of it in a different frame of mind. We don't actually realise that we're tense or our body's holding on to tension, or we might be worried about something. And that shuts down these chakras here. I mean, not apart from that, it's terrible because it grips you and holds you in one tiny place of self. And you can't really move out of that by trying. And you don't realise you're even uptight anyway until you've had a moment of rest. And then you go, oh, I really needed that. So many of my clients have a Reiki treatment and go, I didn't know I needed to relax so much. And they didn't know because we're used to working with that tension. We need to work in a different way with ourselves. So I've got another Tea with Nan on here. Take the pressure off. On the 15th of the 5th, 23, go to YouTube and find my Tea with Nans, because my website isn't here anymore. It isn't available. And I'm actually quite pleased with it. It was complicated. But it's nice to go to YouTube. Everything I do is on there. All my meditations are free. Just scroll down, see what you fancy. And the same with the Tea with Nans is what we're doing now, today, informal. And also the Nan Talks. The Nan Talks are more practical exercises, okay? Oh, thanks for the heart, guys. That's lovely. Thank you. Nothing better than a hug on a Monday, is there? I'm sending you all hugs. So I know that we have a choice. We don't have to. Oh, May's on here. Hi, darling. Lovely to see you. Big hug. We fill our minds and we practically exhaust ourselves with things that we do every day. And even though they bring reward, it is important that we recognise we need to do nothing. And if you get interrupted doing nothing, then do it later. But keep that in mind that you do need to do it. There's some people say, I haven't got time. Well, how about this? How about you go to Nan Talks on YouTube and you look up a talk I've done, which I really love, and most of my clients know and do, is called Stretch Time, and it's on the 24th of the 5th, 21. So stretching time, you take a bracket of time and you breathe. It's just quantum physics, really. And you take that time bracket and you move it with intention and you fix it there. And suddenly you've got more time because your mind thinks it. So you create that around you. It's a really nice talk, actually, and very practical. So look that up on Nan Talks Stretch Time. Very good. And so if you need to ask me more about it, my email still works, nancyfinch@hotmail.co.uk. So stretch time, so you do have more time to do nothing, just nothing. And you'd be surprised how it really benefits you. And a lot of people I teach this to, they just feel like they're just more youthful, less pain, less stress, less worry. And by the law of attraction, if you're in a place of calm because of that nothing, you're calm and centered, then you're attracting more of the calm and centered into your life. It's a win-win, really, isn't it? So, people, when they get space of time, and you look around you, you go to a restaurant, you go outside somewhere, you go to anywhere there's people, what do they do when they got 5 minutes? Well, they get their phones out, don't they? Or they look up something, or they're always doing something mentally and emotionally. They're involved with something. So a phone's lovely. Phone can be very useful. And all the things we have to do, yes, do them. Prioritize what you need to do, of course. But then think, is that other job really that important? Is this job really that important? Can I just wait? Can that wait until later? Because if I can just prioritize myself amongst those jobs and just stare out at nothing, you'll find your breathing changes, your body changes, what you attract is better into your life, and you just feel like you've released all those unwanted, unnecessary stresses and strains we put on ourselves, mentally, emotionally, and physically as a result. Because what we think about, we bring more about, don't we? And we often, if we're thinking tense thoughts, you're going to have a tense body, aren't you? So I've just got something written on here about slow, mindful breathing. People know that when they meditate, that they change their body's biochemistry. People know that. And it changes how they feel when they come out of it. That's brilliant. I would say, meditations are great. And their guided meditations are wonderful because you've got direction and you get a feeling from what you're experiencing in that meditation. But beyond that, once you start being still and not thinking of a single thing, nothing, then you are going beyond that. You're helping your soul to evolve. And it's really a spiritual benefit. You suddenly know the answers. Your intuition knows. This one opens, the chakras all relax and open. Lovely. This one here, you start to trust yourself, your third eye area. When you do this exercise, you'll be more knowing as a result. Your intuition will work better because that's open. And also your crown will work better. So that means you're thinking better, you're feeling, you trust more, and you're feeling calmer. So that will affect your solar plexus area here. And you're looking at the whole spine and everything benefiting from that, being open and happy. I'm wearing yellow today, I love it. So just to recap over this, you need to be making time to do nothing. How are you going to do that? Give it some thought today. Can you do it at the end of the day? Can you do it at the beginning, maybe before you get out of bed? Just gaze at nothing and breathe. And just allow that. Those busy thoughts will gradually, yes, they're going to come in, but just redirect your thoughts with intent. Intention is everything. And your spirit will love it. And you'll be in a calmer place to attract nicer things into your life. So it's worth doing it. And you'll be a good influence on other people as well. But Eckhart Tolle was, wow, love it, love it. When he just did nothing all day and became someone really amazing out of nothing. He didn't do anything. He didn't ring anyone up. He didn't learn anything. He didn't go to a retreat. He didn't do anything. He just went inside himself. And it's the inside of ourselves that we need to focus on. And then when we come out of it, wow, lovely. So I think that's almost everything. Although I'll go back to one point that one of my clients said to me. I relax by reading a book. I relax by doing this or listening to music, and then I go to sleep. I'm going, yeah, you do, and that's lovely. But how about you just take that to another dimension and there's no stimulus around you. You just focus. And if you close your eyes and go to sleep, that's fine too. But you just want to be breathing with nothing in mind and nothing to do. Okay? So let's all be busy doing nothing. And then we'll be balanced, won't we? This is a lovely balance symbol that I channeled through a long time ago. And I've missed a little bit out here. It's really lovely. And what I want you to do is I want you to draw it. There we go. I drew this morning very quickly. So you dot this little symbol here, and then it goes underneath, okay? So balance and equilibrium, that's what you need. We need to have that feeling. So you can imagine, before you perhaps do this, to balance yourself, I'm going to draw that symbol in the air. So there it is, up, across, and it should go under. I did it quickly. So up, across, round, and under. So this is representing you're holding yourself in that place of balance and equilibrium as you take it underneath. So if you imagine yourself holding that symbol up, across, and under. So you draw that in your mind, up and under. So it unifies your whole body into a nice place of instructions, everything. Your body, your mind's listening. 95% of your mind will go, okay, I'm balanced, when you're not. And you're not if you're not still and you're doing too much. So maybe sing that song, look up the talks I've suggested. Know that you're doing yourself more good than harm by doing this exercise. It doesn't matter if that job doesn't get done or we fill our lives. I mean, like a cupboard, we empty a cupboard. A very short time later, the cupboard's filled again. We do the same with our minds. We have to empty our minds. And meditation is a good way, but take it further. Think of nothing. I'm going to spend time doing that today, I think. But breathing is the answer as well. You're not lazy. You'll be more productive as a result. Look up the books, the people I've suggested. Wayne Dyer with Living the Wisdom of the Tao. Wonderful man. Tao Te Ching. I can't say his name, Lazu, I think it is. I can't say it. I'm very dyslexic. But this lovely person, wonderful. And then remember, it's best to go inside. And Eckhart Tolle showed me that many years ago. So I think that's done. Well, those stories, very impressive, I think. So you're not lazy. You're just doing things in a different way. And remember what Winnie the Pooh said. Doing nothing is doing something. You are helping yourself on a very beautiful, deep level. And you will feel the difference. You will suddenly know more of what to do and how to get there in your life because of it. It's well worth the investment. So I think that's it, really. Time's marched on as always. I don't think I've left anything off my sheet here, my board. But yeah, just how are you going to do it? Ask yourself, am I going to spend 5 minutes? Am I going to spend an hour? Some people like to spend hours doing this. Well, that's not lazy. That's developing yourself. It's a very Zen thing to do, isn't it? You know, very wise, spiritual people know how to do this because they know the importance of doing nothing. Sitting at the top of a mountain and just breathing. Looking at something on the ground, just breathing. That's what we're talking about. Anyway, have fun with this week. I hope you allow yourself time to do nothing. Be busy doing nothing. And I shall see you next Monday at 12 o'clock. Have a lovely week, everybody. And please share this. Like I say, you never know who you're going to be helping. It might just be that they're depleted in energy or hope or some feelings of, positivity. They need to know that they're allowed to do nothing. Okay? And maybe stay off your phone and do this instead. Right. Lots of love to all of you. Give yourself a big hug from me. I hope you have a wonderful week. And I shall see you next Monday at 12 o'clock. Thanks for being here, guys. Lots of love to everyone. Bye.